to be made.
Rough day?
You have no idea.
I just might. That's the second bottle you've downed.
Heydari. Falco sends his regards.
And what does that unholy scion of a Grox and a Brahan want from me this time? Oh, wait, I don't really care. My sole plans for tonight are drowning my grief in a sea of Amasak.
We'll give you grief, all right. Get out!
Don't think so, Ashman. And tell Falco to come himself next time.
Heydari, I am tired of your mess. Out! Get some sleep. We'll talk about settling up later.
Okti Shireen, light of my eyes. Can't you see my soul is full of sadness? Have you no horse at all? Let go of your material concerns and let me grieve in peace. Have we met somewhere before? Greetings, Shireen. With whom do I have the honor of speaking? Well then, here's to our meeting. It doesn't take a genius to figure out that you're someone special, since you've been granted an audience with the Liege of Footfall himself. It's always a pleasure to make the acquaintance of someone powerful. And the timing couldn't be better. Jai Heydari at your service. Professional trader, shrewd commercial broker, and, may Ashi steal my tongue if I'm lying, the most honest dealer on Footfall. Nonetheless, we all have our problems, and at times even one's many merits aren't enough to solve them. Perhaps it would be no trouble for a person with your kind of power and standing to assist someone with my kind of predicament. I have heard a great deal about how open-minded the members of the Von Valancius dynasty are, and Lady Theodora especially. Goods of incredible rarity, Shireen. But it's not just that. 24 of my people lost their lives in the impenetrable emptiness of the void to acquire them. I cannot leave their families with nothing. I thought we were on the same page from the start, Shireen. Please accept my sincerest apologies if that is not the case, and allow me to explain myself. If I had told you directly, you would have become, shall we say, complicit. But since those illicit words did not escape my lips, you would hypothetically be agreeing merely to help me recapture a few containers. And if the Ashi suddenly decided to thwart our plans, then all the Void Dogs would be unleashed on me alone. My sincerest wish was to protect you from any unnecessary trouble, Shireen. I swear, by the Exalted One. Ask as many as you wish, Shireen. Trust is the key to a successful endeavor. You see, Shireen, there's one cardinal rule on Footfall. Anything goes as long as it doesn't get in the way of business. I'm someone who's been able to exploit that rule to the fullest, And in recent years, I've hit it so big, I've become a speck of sand in someone's green eye. They used to throw small wrenches into my dealings here and there. Well, now they've decided to really put their backs into it. Some rat's stolen my cargo and dragged it off to the seediest part of the Shadow Quarters. A crummy place even for connoisseurs of Footfall's unique atmosphere. When I asked the Liege for protection, we had a mutual misunderstanding. I believe Vladayam, in a most lamentable fashion, has forgotten his duties as guardian of the downtrodden and wronged. So I'm in desperate need of a new one. And you, Sheridan, fit the bill perfectly. All I need is for you to drop by one dark corner of Footfall Shadow Quarters and pound it into the thieves' heads that taking Heydari's property carries certain risks. May the Exalted One bless you and your progeny. Then here's what we'll do. We shouldn't be seen together before we make it to the safe house. I'll head there first. I'll take my own special route so I won't be spotted. Right. Here, that's where those ashmags are keeping the stolen cargo. Out the bar, over the bridge, and to the left. There in the depths you'll find a small courtyard, through which you can get to the place. I'll be waiting nearby. You can come when it suits you, but the sooner you do, the better. I'll see you then, Shireen.
Is there money to be made? Dono.
Did I mention that my whispers tell me jokes? Jokes that once said aloud make your eyes bleed and blood curdle. Talk about black comedy.
I'll make an example out of you. You will fall.
I have read tomes of military tactics. I'm not accustomed to being ordered around. My duty demands. If I may. No! These ruby flashes are choking me!
Indeed.
At your beck and call.
I am a navigator, not a servitor. Isn't this a job for the serfs?
Don't frighten me. Faith without deeds is worthless. Doubt is for the weak. I'll do it. As the Emperor commands, I act.
Can I fall back now?
Taking calculated risk is in my second nature. Who if not me? Here!
I've suffered worse.
I'll see to it personally. It's as good as...
High momentum.
What is this foreboding? Anything else?
Pain and duty go hand in hand. Victory is imminent. I'm not interested. I will do my duty. One fewer target. For von Valencia. At your beck and call. Take care of this one. Reduce to dust. It will be done.
Exploiters know one route. Forward. Running binaric override. The Omnissiah knows all. Comprehends all. Running binaric override.
Temporary setback.
Faith without deeds is worthless. Each strike is a prayer. I am his will made manifest. Doubt is for the weak. As the Emperor commands, I act. None can escape the Emperor's judgment. Eradicated. It's nothing. This is unacceptable. I'll do it.
I took care of them.
I'm ready for whatever comes. I'll make it happen.
I've suffered worse. Victory is imminent. Someone else can do this. Indeed. That's not the Seneschal's job. At your beck and call.
I will endure.
Be careful not to cross my gaze. Emperor, deliver us! Dare you!
Allow me to thank you again for helping me with the cargo, Sherin. I am sure the Ashmags who squirreled away my goods won't give up so easily, and I'll hear more about their scheming yet. Let's strike a deal, Sherin. I will watch your back, if you do me a favor and watch mine. Well, enough jokes. Is there something you wanted? No truer words have ever been said. I'm far more exciting than some small-time peddlers from Footfall. Allow me to introduce myself properly. I am Jai Amira Fatqain Tamiri Ash Ifrit, the 12th daughter of the Lord of Ifrit, a distant world at the fringes of the Imperium. The youngest child is destined to become a bargaining chip in the family's political games. But I was unwilling to accept such a fate, and wanted to choose what to become and which path to follow. When I learned the Exalted One watches over hundreds of other worlds amidst distant stars, I understood there was an entire world of opportunities beyond Ifrit. All I had to do was break the familial bonds tying me down and escape the planet. Which I did a long time ago. The Keronis Expanse. A gorgeous name, isn't it? But this backwater wasn't my original destination when I escaped, Sherin. Oh no, it was the rumors of incredible freedom that brought me to the Keronis Expanse. Freedom that is generously bestowed upon everyone who can survive in these parts. All doors are open here. You can become a saint, a mogul, a kingmaker, or anyone you like, really. Here, hard work pays off. Unless you're used to lying by the roadside and complaining instead of toiling for the good of your soul, glory, wallet, or whatever floats your boat. I'm used to working hard, and so I found my blessing. I convinced my father I personally wished to oversee the inspection of imported goods. I had to get experience so I wouldn't bring shame on our family, didn't I? I made friends with traders, missionaries, and soldiers at the port. I listened to their stories, studied the charts, learned what documents I had to forge to escape the planet. A kind word here, a shiny coin there. And here I am, in the iron belly of a ship, braving the void in search of a new life. Consider it a mark of my trade. This here, Xenos. Dumb-headed orcs. Who knew that we weren't the only ones to get tempted by the wreck of that raider? As for this treasure, I received it as a reward for a life that had been just a little too good. I was in a hurry to get to the Adeptus Amasacus after the Exalted One blessed me with immense wealth. I was 2 backstreets away from the den when a pathetic ashmag attacked me, envious of somebody else's fortune. I learned my lesson and started taking the longer way around. Except I haven't had any big windfalls since. All relationships are based on mutual trust. That goes for business too. The dark side is the real Keronis Expanse, if you ask me. But what do you want to know about it, Sherin? Dynasty heirs drink with criminals. Rogue traders strike deals with the Kasbalika, and dozens of ships stop off for a welcome break from a long voyage. Is there a more beautiful place in the entire Imperium? The Emperor is merciful to the meek and the powerful alike. There's a job for everyone as long as they have a head on their shoulders. And if you feel like talking to him in person, the statue of the Exalted One can be seen from any asteroid. You can pray to your heart's content. An ancient crime cartel that originated with the first settlers of the Calixis sector. It is run by shadowy clans with robber barons at the helm. Cross their path, and you risk making enemies all over the Keronis Expanse, or even the entire Imperium. As for the agents, they are just shameless, greedy scum. Every third person on Footfall is a Kasbalikan. But that doesn't mean all that rotten filth is acting together. I've been set up more than once just so some Kasbalikan can get one over on his rivals. And yet, the Kasbalika is generous to its customers, if you can afford it. Anything can be obtained, organized, and transported for the right price. The customer is always right, unless they happen to be a rat. In which case... What gave you such an outrageous idea? Was it my immaculate garment? My gorgeous jewelry? Do not worry, Sherin. I will let you know once I become a baroness, should the Exalted One will it. Just imagine the strong and fruitful alliance that could be forged between a rogue trader and the mastermind of the Kasbalika. It's not hard to do on Footfall. I spent a year working for good old Christo. He was a brave soldier who gave up the ghost in a scuffle with orcs, and then took over his business. Having a good head on your shoulders and keeping the Exalted One in your heart helps to establish new contacts quickly. Eventually, I gathered together a group of honest and loyal people, and it only took a few successful contracts for the Kasbalika to take notice. I quickly settled on footfall and started dispensing my wisdom to my protégés and subordinates. I lost the taste for getting my hands dirty. It really is simple, Sherry. The Kasbalika runs the Imperium's black market, offering special goods to those who can afford their services. Yes, I am talking about Xeno artifacts too. Alien weapons, technology, sometimes even certain kinds of living creatures. Unlike the rogue traders whose sacred warrants make them immune even from the laws of the Exalted One, Kasbalikan agents are used to hiding and covering their tracks. Nobody wants to draw unwanted attention, no matter who might take an interest. Especially now that the Coronis Expanse has a warrior of the Golden Throne as its watchman. Why not? The decision is yours, Sherry. My trade means knowing the right people and non-people, having the right connections, and making sure the precious goods find their way into the hands of my no less precious customers. My wisdom includes the knowledge of the enemies of humankind, be they Xenos or the lowest scum of the Imperium, as well as the latest knowledge about how they charge for any particular curio at the Footfall Market. Not even the most cunning Ajri will deceive you as long as I am with you, Shireen. I promise you that. Whatever I have can be yours too, if your unfathomable wealth isn't enough for you already, I mean. It has been known to happen. After years of dealing with Xenos, I've learned their customs, and even got a grasp of their language. Except they cringe whenever I start speaking. Arrogant sods. They dislike even our voices, but they never turn away our valuables. Then again, I'm used to seeing sour faces. In this trade, the easily offended go out of business. I have no doubt you will have to deal with Xenos sooner or later. When that time comes, Shireen, you will thank the Exalted One for sending me to stand at your side. Thank you, Shireen. Being able to read and write is chief among them. You may not be aware, but this science is beyond the abilities of billions of the Imperium subjects. And yet they happily keep drudging along in their factories, fundi, and assembly lines. Me? I didn't escape Ifrit to consign myself to such misery. It was literacy that paved my path to copied orders, forged signatures, counterfeited papers. The wonderful things that make the wheels of bureaucracy turn in the right direction. Compared to the rabble on Footfall, perhaps. Compared to you. Be it power or money, I still have a long way to go. I could purchase one of Footfall's asteroids, but not a planet. I could subjugate a few gangs from the shady districts, but not Vladaya. And so the answer to your question is no. I do not consider myself rich. I am not rich enough. You're fun to talk. I grew tired of scribing endless contracts and agreements neatly tucked away on Footfall. I did that for how many years? But here, among the stars, you are always balanced on a knife edge. Nothing thrills me more than the tension of a warp jump, or the danger that lurks around every corner on a planet. Footfall was beginning to make me fat and stupid, Shireen. I do not want that. Do I trust the Trickster twins? By the Exalted One, no. The underhanded rogues of Footfall came up with that name for a reason. The tricks of those frenzied ashmags are all about things far more intriguing than the honest and law-abiding subjects of the Imperium can imagine. On the other hand, this is why I am keeping them close. Kor and Tora know who lifted them out of the cesspit proudly called the Shadow Quarters, and who has been feeding that ravenous beast their insatiable lust for lucre. No, they are not going to betray me if only because they know I am now a part of your entourage, Shireen. They are not going to let the biggest pie in the Imperium pass them by without trying to get a slice for themselves. Vicious, cruel, dangerous beasts. Humans hold little interest for Xenos. We are entertainment for them, a means to keep boredom at bay. A commodity. But some of them contact us once in a while using their own people. Do not deceive yourself by thinking you are safe because there are no Xenos in sight. Those Agi are as cunning as they are ruthless. They cleverly pull at the strings of spies and traitors, subjugate those who do not fall for the promised reward, transform the ones who resist their promises into soulless puppets. The Emperor watches over me, and that is why I still haven't succumbed to the fate of many of my associates who have lost their lives to the stringy scoundrels. I think we've said all there is to say on this topic. It is difficult not to be aware of the powers that be, especially ones like Lord Captain Theodora. But we never met personally, as the difference between our positions was far too great. Theodora was a mighty ruler, the center of her own universe, and I, a pathetic commoner, was nothing next to her. But you were kind to me, Shireen, and in my eyes that put you above your esteemed aunt, or whoever she was to you. Listen, Shireen, the giver of happiness and the dearest of my friends. I am who I am. A cold trader, a Casbalican agent, and your partner. We each have a past, and that past is sealed. I'm not prying into your soul, am I? Well, have pity on mine. It has already been gnawed at by the Agi. And if you don't like the sound of that, we'll just go our separate ways. Deal? All relationships are based on mutual trust. That goes for business too. Or lucky lady, you mean? My heart has been coveted by proud men with hard eyes, gentle maidens with sensual voices, imperious lords and fierce leaders of void brigands. Only rogue traders have not yet featured among Jai Heydari's intimate friends. Why do you ask, Shireen? You are prying at the treasures of my soul, my little secrets. How else can I keep them safe from such a powerful robber as the rogue trader? I dare not refuse you. Oh, Shireen. With a few words, you have managed to make my heart flutter like a songbird caught in the snare of a skilled hunter. You enjoy being with me. Perhaps you even find me amusing? Every girl dreams of hearing that she will make a fine toy and a worthy diversion. I understand. I'm just having a little fun, Shireen. I can't possibly just say, oh, I like you too. Words as dry and dull as a voidsman's dinner. They are unworthy of us. If you are not simply amusing yourself by toying with my feelings, then why not give it a try? Go on. Or, wait. You haven't yet asked how I feel about being your romantic partner. Ask soon, Shireen. I simply cannot reject so ardent an admirer. To insult such sincere passion would be a wicked act in the eyes of the Exalted One. Savor the anticipation, Shireen. Wait, and do not lose confidence. But if the feelings in your soul have become a fire that is burning you up from within, then you may express them by bestowing a gift upon your humble servant. The language on Ifrit, my home world, is quite different from the one spoken in the Coronis Expanse. We bestow more than one meaning upon each word, allowing our wise men to fully express their sagacious thoughts, and us lowly commoners our base passions and desires. Take Agi, for example. That is what I call every piece of scum and villain, because Agi means evil and foe and pathetic worm unworthy of consideration. Or take Ashmag. It means fool and little brother and blind man who stumbled and would fall into a pit without guidance. Shireen is Shireen means friend and comrade and roommate in a battle formation, like we are. Oh, Shireen, I did manage to spark your interest. Allow me to invite you to a more private place. My words are meant for your ears alone.
To what do I owe this visit? Mistress Heydari is a dangerous person, and dangerous people like dangerous things. Jai is probably partial to good weapons. She even has a small but enviable collection. Such a gift would not only be practical given her perilous trade, but it would also show that you have taken an interest in her as a person and her tastes. Such demonstrations are very important when dealing with people with whom you would like to curry favor. The cult's ordinary members are humans who have been corrupted by the archenemy, traitors to the Imperium, and accomplices of chaos. Participation in the cult's rituals always entails brainwashing, literally and figuratively. The longer cult members spend among other cultists, the less critically they think, and the more closely they resemble obedient livestock, stripped of their fear and instinct for self-preservation. The worst of them go to their deaths without an inkling of doubt, ready to take hundreds and thousands of souls with them. As for those at the top of the cult's hierarchy, we have not yet managed to get a lead on all of the cult's leaders. I imagine that some of them are hiding in the depths of the Coronis Expanse. But those who are orchestrating the fanatics on nearby worlds are hiding very well indeed, or receiving protection from above. I need to confirm the reports from my agents. According to them, one of the cult's leaders is in the Kiava Gamma segment, an industrial world within the dominion of the Von Phalantius dynasty. I hope you won't impede my investigation. Governors, commanders, rogue traders. History is full of those who neglect their duty to the Golden Throne and seek allies in the wrong places. We discovered the first traces of it as soon as we arrived in the Coronis Expanse. Since then, the more we learn, the better we see just how far the roots of this blight extend. Destroying individual cells is pointless. We must cut this beast off at its head. As you wish.
What Words cannot describe how boring the bridge is without our stimulating conversations. I know very little about how ordinary couples come together. The books I have read always skirted around that side of life, keeping silent on the matter. A heartfelt poem, perhaps? I'm not sure Jai enjoys poetry, though. I have enjoyed your company. Thank you for the conversation.
Lord Captain? It is wise for a rogue trader to have caches where they can safely store important information. And utterly unwise to share the coordinates of such caches with anyone. Even one's most trusted associates. I'm afraid I do not know how to find the caches, but I can offer some help. Your predecessor used this numeric code to deactivate certain defense systems in her service. If I know Lady Theodora as well as I think, then I'm quite certain that she left her caches well guarded. In that case, this code will be useful to you. Lord Captain, I used to give Genusian lilies to the girl I liked, but the species long since extinct. Now it lives only in my memory. Ask someone else, your lordship. I am too old to remember how to charm young ladies. Lord Captain.
Lord Captain, your presence is welcome. And I wish to apologize for my prior coldness. After our first meeting, I was concerned that you would turn out to be another faithless offshoot of the von Valancius dynasty, like the traitor Conrad. But now I see before me a worthy leader and servant of the Imperium. I am glad to accompany you in your endeavors. If you want to do her good, give her a dose of conscience and a fear of the Emperor. That is what she truly needs. But if you want to please her, give her some meaningless jewelry, expensive and shiny. Such baubles wield magical power over hearts like hers.
Well, it would have to be something that screams, "Look how much the rogue trader loves me," in the faces of everyone she meets. Like a fabulous gown beyond anything that even the noble women of Dargonus can acquire. A princess of smugglers would love the opportunity to rub the nobility's noses in her newfound privileges. Of course.
The Omnissiah knows all, comprehends all. Given the high status of the unit von Valancius, and his services rendered to the Adeptus Mechanicus, perhaps a request for special leniency for the unit Heydari, the sentence of oblivion without sabotorization that is stipulated for her crimes, may instead be commuted to immediate redemptive servitude in perpetuus. Then, hypothetically, in time she would be able to compensate for a small portion of the sacrileges she has committed against the Omnissiah. It would be a most generous gift. However, this act of mercy is not advisable, for it is undeserved.
Shireen, there you are. I've been waiting for you. Sating a hunger greater than any bodily appetite. My curiosity. You see, a person's face, their clothes, their manner is all just a mask. Smoke from the lips of a fire breather designed to hide the truth. But the contents of chests and cupboards, they are the reflection of the soul, in which the wise can glimpse another's heart. I have been wondering what kind of person you truly are. Shireen, you besmirch my heart with the black ink of bitterest insult. If you do not trust me, search me. What if I don't like asking? Everything in our lives is a game, Shireen. We play, we are played. Without games, everything would be so unbearably dull. How else am I to prove my innocence, Shireen? Keep going, Shireen. You will strike lucky yet. Thank you. I loved the gift, Shireen. Everything the rogue trader desires.
I always keep my options open. I always have a backup plan. I always keep my options open. Let us not dawdle.
One and it's done.
I always get the job done. Success is the only outcome I accept. Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
A job for me.
My success is an irrefutable certainty.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
You've been easier to tolerate since you were taken down a peg. You're not any nicer, just easier.
This Explorator is blessed with multifunctionality. My success is an irrefutable certainty.
I always have a backup plan. I always keep my options open.
Sometimes, I wonder to what extent our perception of the Empyrean differs.
Ooh, I'm glad that I never have to look at it. No offense, Cass, but I'll do just fine without an eyeball in the middle of my forehead.
Let us not do.
light of my eyes, giver of boons and savior of the needy. From now on, 2 sons will grace the firmament of the Fon Valancius Protectorate. One bright and powerful, like the rogue trader himself, and the other slightly more humble, like his unassuming partner, the diligent owner of the Mercatum Tabula Officiale, and all around delight, Jai Heydari. As I promised before, my crew will be your eyes and ears across the entire expanse, Shireen. Just give them time. And of course, the assistant to official trade representative Jai Heydari is already rushing to Dargonis to deliver goods of rare and exquisite quality to you and your people, O master of many worlds. And once again, thank you, Shireen, from the bottom of my humble heart. I actually have something else for you, Shireen. Oh, I most definitely am not opposed, Shireen. The sweetness of your lips, Shireen, clouds the mind better than Calixian wine on a balmy day. But you did not think I would just let you go, did you? A humble gift in return for all the trouble. May the Exalted One keep watching over the path that you tread. Oh, I have no doubt you will. ship, ask away. I'll tell it like it is. I'm not going to try to wriggle out of it. So what do you want to hear, Shireen? A children's tale about a beautiful princess? A ballad about a queen of thieves? How about a new story, Shireen? Once upon a time, there was a little girl who lived on a sand-covered lump of rock. And the core of that rock contained untold riches for servants of the Imperium. The girl scraped out those riches with her little hands, breaking her back and coughing up her lungs, on behalf of people who had never clapped eyes upon her, and who would never know her name. She did this every day until she turned 16. And then his servants came and drafted the girl into the 19th Ifrit Regiment. Can you imagine? Of course, the regiment was wiped out on its first sortie. But the girl survived. The Exalted One protects. So what was next? Years serving in the Astra Militarum, just a shitload of hard labor, and fighting, and deals, and shady connections, and new opportunities. But everything in this world ends sooner or later, Shireen. The now not-so-little girl went and fell in with the Kasbalika. She saved up a little gold, and she even indulged in excess from time to time. Until living the good life almost cost the little girl her head after her patrons got caught in an internal investigation between the Officio Prefectus and Departamento Munitorum. So the girl ran as fast as her little legs could carry her, until her eyes and the beams of fortune brought her to the expanse. A shitty story, all things considered, Shireen. The folks on Footfall are my only family, Shireen. The trickster twins and the rest of the rabble, plain-talking and loyal as dogs. And sometimes as dull as the pommel of a worn-out blade. Corporal Heydari reporting for duty, sir. I've had enough of the Astra Militarum shit to last a lifetime, Shireen. And my body's collected enough souvenirs from run-ins with Xenos and heretics to last 2 lifetimes. Except, when it comes to the Guard, there's no such thing as used to be. That wretched life sank its claws into me good. But that also means I remember what it's like to be a small, shaking, insignificant pawn. And that's why I appreciate what I have now all the more. What? You think it's difficult? Once me and my fellow guardsmen snuck into the upper city in search of a good watering hole where the high and mighty of that world congregated. Another time, our regiment was sent to defend the tallest spires on a hive world. And I had an epiphany. I saw how the other half lives. And by half, I mean the ones born with a diamond spoon in their mouth instead of an entrenching shovel rammed up their arse. My eyes were open to the truth, Shireen. The Imperium is full of opportunities, even for people like myself. The trick is knowing whose palms to grease, whose boots to lick, whose throat to squeeze, and whose arses to kick. I was very popular with everyone in the Guard Command, you see. I'd procure things for them, whatever they wanted. And so the Kasbalika took notice. You know, Shireen, I could still be bouncing around from one world to another, holed up on tired old ships with only venal bronze for company, if I hadn't decided I wanted more for my life. I accepted a shipment from the Kasbalika of certain chemicals. You know, for carnal pleasures and the like. Some bigwig was throwing a party to celebrate his 5th decade in the service. And that's when I got the attention of the newly arrived commissar. I was rummaging through the pockets of Astra Militarum with one hand, and shuffling the Kasbalikan cargo with the other. You can imagine what would have happened to my head had the commissar not started with my higher-ranked patrons. It was orcs. Not everything I say is a lie, Shireen. Whoop the fu- Never mind. Not once, if you can believe it. By the way, Shireen, I'm not really a princess. I'm filthy underhive scum, and I've been lying to you the whole time. I would have been flung out of your bed so fast, it would take my scream a few seconds to catch up. For the same reason that anybody lies. I want people to like me. I want to attract them, not repel them. Really? And you are very, very strange. And I am very lucky. Praise be to the Exalted One. It's not as if I could just abandon you. Even smugglers have principles and feelings. Unfortunately, all I managed to do was spend a pile of your trons without anything to show for it. None of the operatives who do business with Xenos knew where to find him. Not even Mercy. I shouldn't have reached out to him. He helped me move to the Expanse and set up business here a long time ago. But I liked it better when he was safely in my past. Are you worried I'm going to start spitting on the deck and shriveling your officers' ears with my foul tongue? Don't be, Shireen. I much prefer being seen as a princess rather than a deserter. I'll continue to play the part in front of the others. But you wanted to talk frankly, so I've dropped the act. Sir, yes sir, your lordship, Shireen. I'll be here, all primed and ready to go. You are spoiling me with the splendor of your presence again, Sherry. Once upon a time, there was a little girl who lived on a sand-covered lump of rock, and the core of that rock contained untold riches for servants of the Imperium. And every day until she turned 16, the girl scraped out those riches with her little hands, breaking her back and coughing up her lungs on behalf of people who had never clapped eyes upon her, and who would never know her name. Then his servants came and took the girl into the Astra Militare. The girl worked her little ass off until she met the Kasbalika and started living the high life in her little corner of the Imperial Guard. And that high life almost cost the girl her head when she came under investigation by the Officio Prefectus and Departamento Munitor. So she fled to the Expanse. Is there a sweeter subject in the universe to discuss, Sherry? You have my full attention. Ask the rose if it likes to receive the kisses of the sun every morning. Ask the sand dune if it likes to feel the caressing and playful touch of the wind. Ask and hear my answer, Sherry. Not now. Not today. You will probably laugh at me, but I'm afraid to be alone with you without my mask. Vulnerability is frightening. But I know I will overcome my fear in time. Oh, I have no doubt you will.
get left in the dust. I always keep my options open.
Never doubt me.
I always have a backup plan.
One and it's done.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
The Emperor favors me today.
Is there money to be made? This is intriguing. What do we have here?
My pleasure.
This could be an opportunity.
Damn it! I mean, just bad luck. A job for me.
Let us not dawdle.
Duty prevails.
Keep your wits about you. Is it waddled or a trap?
I always have a backup plan.
A minor setback. And done.
I always keep my options open.
Stop. There.
Is there money to be made? What a peculiar thing. I always have a backup plan.
A job for me.
Always keep your eye on the prize. Rise to the top, or get left in the dust. I always keep my options open.
Shireen, O glorious son of dozens of worlds and billions of subjects, have you come to converse with Jai Heydari about the sweetness of her soul? Or do you wish to speak to a trade representative of the Imperium? Well, does the guise of one of the most powerful people in the Expanse suit me? You sure about that, my lord? That can be arranged. Oh my, I beg your forgiveness, Shireen. I'm pretty sure the real me would earn herself a one-way trip to the airlock before the end of her first watch. Like you need to ask, Shireen. These Ashmags and Kashaz are tenacious. They lick their wounds faster than the Aji themselves. Tora finally got an implant for her jaw. Now she can speak properly instead of braying like a toothless donkey. She's been recruiting strapping guys and gals too, because Falco called a Rex. May the Aji savage the soul of that interstellar piranha. Oh, yes, Shireen. And here is what I think. Since the day we first met, I have been tossed about like a boat in a storm. Battered, dashed against the rocks, lashed by the waves. And then I was flung onto the shore, and a fabulous gift washed up beside me. A precious pearl of the deep, the Mercatum Tabula Officiale. And it was not fate, or the glitter of golden bubbles that steered me on that voyage. Oh no. I realize the power of those who hide in the blinding light of luminaries such as yourself, Sherry. The power that lies in being a shadow that upholds order and light by skirting around antiquated laws. I will become that shadow, Sherry. Perhaps I will even be your shadow. Not another pawn of the Casbalica mission, but a shadow baron of the Expanse in my own right. A power far more imperious and formidable than any penny-pinching steward. Then it is decided! Starting today, I will sail toward the future I choose. What a thrill it would be to ride the waves wherever they want to take me. Nothing important, really. Just a small commercial matter. Fine. Maybe it's better to let you know. Shireen, I've been waiting for you. Hurry up, the water is hot, like the fire in a longing heart. Do you think that will help, Shireen? Oh, we're just having a drink together for the first time. Our second first time, to be precise. You've now seen a whole new side of me, so I'm annulling our previous first time. Isn't it divine? Why didn't we do this sooner? Let us praise the Exalted One as we drink. He who sees into the depths of our hearts and sends us that which we never thought to dream of, but which we need more than anything. This evening will never end, Shireen. Night, Amasek, water, and passion will be yours forever. I have risen from the ashes of my past, Shireen. I thought a lot about who I used to be and who I've become, and I realized that Jai Heydari is more than just a name. It is the life I've dreamt of since I was a child. The life I've managed to carve out of the cosmos for myself. It used to be a mask, but now it is simply me. And I have nothing to be ashamed of. And it is thanks to you, Shireen. You did not cast me aside, and I have stopped asking myself if I am worthy of you. I am worthy, and I know it. I am your beloved. Today, that is enough for me. But tomorrow, we'll see. Do you remember what you said when you learned the truth about my past? You said I hadn't changed in your eyes. I think that is when I realized the power I had over my own life. And then you ordered Mercy to stop seeing me as a little girl who needed him. You might be the first person who's ever done that for me. Who hasn't tried to change me on the pretext of loving me. Who doesn't expect me to conform to the idea of me they've built in their head. And so I've thought about it. I've decided I can't trust you. It's very dangerous, trusting another person with yourself. But somehow I know you won't take advantage of my vulnerability. Chamesar, Laikhar, Huamka. It means I am yours. I vow, behold, Exalted One. It is a vow people say over water on Ifrit when they meet their heart. They make the vows once in their lives, and it is forever. For what is reflected in the water surface is reflected in the eye of the Exalted One. On Ifrit, they say that if you want to know the future, you must turn your gaze to the past, for the Exalted One wove time in a loop. I heard a story, a wonderful story, about an adventurer and thief. She stole happiness from the universe, and alone she enjoyed the sweetness of that ripe fruit. But can anyone be happy alone? They cannot. And so the thief shared her trophy with a rogue trader whose beautiful face matched their beautiful heart. And together they feasted on their stolen happiness. They built castles, they conquered worlds, they loved one another. Oh, how they loved one another. They burned and were reborn in that love. And then, I don't remember how the story ends. What ending awaited them, do you think? I can imagine what absolute terrors they would be. Oh, these stories, Shireen. They're hard to believe, aren't they?
Hmm.